Welcome back to another part of What If Naruto Was Left at the Valley of the End. This is part two. You guys really enjoyed the last part, which makes me very happy. So, as promised, here's the video. As I said, the like goal for the last video was, I think it was 30 likes, and you guys already smashed it. I had 100 likes on the last video, so let's get to 40 likes this time around. Thanks again for all the likes and the support you guys showed me on this one. This is a pre-recorded or an after-recorded intro, so my voice might sound a little weird after I go right into the video. So yeah, thanks again for all the support. By the way, do you guys like this type of intro where I put like a different character on the thumbnail? Not the intro, I mean the thumbnail, I should say. If you guys do, leave a comment down below and like the video, I guess. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. But enjoy. So there's one change I want to make to whatever I said in the last part, which was his appearance. His appearance is gonna look kind of like the character in the thumbnail. His hair is gonna be white and his eyes are gonna be kind of yellow. I kind of really like that character design. His his face is gonna be, instead of like white, it's gonna be a little tannish. His all his attributes though, like I don't know, like how I said he's strong as a tail beast and everything, are all gonna be the same. So that's just one thing I wanted to change, and let's just get right into where we left off. So Naruto, after basically escaping death's doorstep, starts making his way to the Sand Village. Now, after he arrives there, he's like, finally. Took I guess shorter than I expected. What would take probably 3 days to get there, took him only around about an hour. This just goes to show how strong and how powerful Naruto's gotten throughout just 7 days. This is something even Sasuke could never even dream about achieving. At this very moment in time, if Naruto and Sasuke went on a full battle, Naruto could easily kill him. It would be an easy body for Naruto. But, of course, he would probably torture Sasuke. Just like how he's like, for what you did, for what you did to me, I'll repay it 10 times back to you. That's basically what he wants to do to Sasuke. He wants to kill him, bring him to like middle of the Leaf Village, starts torturing him, and then kill him right in front of Sakura. Just for the fuck of it. Now, as he arrives in the Leaf Village, the guards, of course, stop him. Who are you? And show us your identification. Who are you? Do you want to have like a little background check? He's like, I have to go by an alias now. How about Azari? He's like, my name is Azari. They're like, what? Azari? He's like, they're like, all right, Mr. Azari, could you show us like a proof of identification, like your headband or something like that? He's like, I don't belong to any village, not anymore. I came to the village seeking for refuge and maybe shelter, a village to call home, as he says. They're like, well, to do that, please come this way, as a guard leads him to what would be, I guess you could say, like, not a permanent residentship, but like I don't know, like a short-term residentship. Of course, if he wants to stay longer, he can stay longer, but this, for now, will be a month. He fills out the form, and he starts walking away. He has some shaggy clothing, which, from the fight, he didn't change, of course. Everybody's avoiding him, of course. He doesn't have a bad stench because he's literally been in water for like the last 8 days. Now I say No, 7.5 days. I say 7.5 days because I'm not including the half of. I'm not including all the time he was in the water. I wait. I should say I am including all the time he was in the water before his transformation to what would be his new look, which would be the look of Azari for now. Everybody starts avoiding him. He doesn't smell bad, of course. He just has a very shaggy clothing. Um, he makes his way to what would be the Okagi's building. Now, at this very moment in time, Gara would be the Kazekage. And, yeah, Gara would be the Kazekage. Would he, one sec. No, he would not be the Kazekage. Shit, I don't know what to say here. I'm gonna say there is no Kazekage at this very moment in time. It looks like they do have a Kazekage, but like it's like kind of like a placebo effect where they think they have a Kazekage, but they really don't. Which and then after the Shippuden time, they're gonna elect one. But for this very moment in time, they don't have a Kazekage. Um, of course, the guards stop him at this very moment in time, and the guards are like, what is your matter with the Kazekage?" Naruto says, "I've come to speak with Gara of the Sand. Gara of the Sand." They're like, "Oh, Gara, he's he's not here right now." He laughs. Or Naruto slash Azari. I'm gonna start calling him Azari, of course. Now starts laughing. "You guys are lousy liars." As in a blink of an eye, they're literally sent flying away after buildings after buildings. And when they stop, all their bones in their body are broken. They're both dead. Naruto starts making his way to the Kazekage's building. Of course, other guards start trying to stop him after seeing what he did to those other guards. They're pretty frightened, but they still have to protect what would be the quote unquote Kazekage. Um, Azari. Just brushes past them like it's nothing, like they're in slow motion. He doesn't want to make too big of a scene. He just came to visit an old friend, as he says. He brushes past them and he goes and enters what would be the Kazekage's quarters. That's where Gara was sitting. Naruto appears and sits down on a chair. Gara is shocked by this. "Who are you?" As he starts releasing his sand. Naruto. Or no, I'm gonna say Naruto. So as I said, it's kind of confusing for people. Naruto is Azari, but that's it. Azari is his alias because he doesn't want to be known as Naruto at this very moment in time. Um, so Naruto says, "Oh, you don't remember me? Your old friend." Gara says, "Friend. I only have one friend, and that can't be you. He's not a person who kills." Naruto says, "Well, I've changed, you see. After what you could say one of my teammates did to me, I've grown to you could say, hate humanity as a whole." Gara says, "This is not my friend. My friend would never be so cold-hearted." As he starts, you know, making his sand just start literally trying to encase him in a coffin. And then Gara shouts, "Sand coffin." as a huge blast of sand just encases Naruto and slowly starts crushing him. But at this very moment, a big aura blasts out of Naruto. This aura could be felt miles away. This this killing intent, this monster. They've never felt anything like this before. He's no human being anymore. He's a killing machine. Something they've never seen anymore. Something they've never seen. He's a demon living inside of a child. Naruto blasts his way out of the sand. He's like, "Will you hear me out, will you, Gaara?" As he starts slowly walking towards Gaara. Gaara literally throws everything he has at Naruto, but it looks like he keeps on walking, like it's not even grazing him. Things that are literally pointing right at his heart. Naruto keeps on walking. And to normal eyes, it would look like he's, I don't know, just walking, but in real time, you could say, he's dodging every single attack and keeps on walking. Gaara is shocked by this. How? How is this possible? I've thrown everything I have at this man. Everything I have in my arsenal, he says. Gaara starts backing off. What is this? What are you? There's no way something like you could exist in this world. He says. But then he remembers this aura. He felt it back when he was fighting Naruto. This is the Nine Tails, he says. This can't be Naruto, he says as he whispers to himself. This just can't be Naruto. There's no way. I don't believe it for a second. Naruto could never change like this. He's the one person who actually cared about me. He's the only person who actually made me turn into somebody who cares for people. And now he's changed? This can't be happening. This just can't be happening, he says. Naruto looking at Gaara with and seeing Gaara with a pretty shocked expression, says, "I'm guessing you've came to terms and finally used that brain of yours, Gaara." He then says, "How about we stop this? I won't hurt you, and I won't hurt any of the civilians you have here. I just want you to listen out. I have an offer for you." He says, "An offer?" He's like, "Yes, but he's like, let's sit down and have a cup of tea." This is when he explains everything. All the way, after, he makes Gaara turn good. All the way up to Sasuke. He's like, but how are you not dead? I heard that you were dead. The reason I was in here was because I was sobbing for you, Naruto, he says. Naruto says, "That's sweet. But now for my offer." He's like, "Well, before that, actually, the reason I survived is because of the Nine Tails," he says. Nine Tails is the person who reshaped my body here. But then Gaara interrupts him. He's like, "How could the Leaf Village do this to you? How could they not even come after you and find you?" He says. "I don't know. This is why I'm planning on taking revenge on, first of all, Sasuke. And second of all, turning basically the shinobi world into what would be a place where people would respect each other. No one will be left behind," he says. Naruto then makes his um, I guess his announcement. It's like, I want you to help me, Gara. You're one of the only people I can trust. You're just like me, aren't you? You've been treated horribly. Treated by these, what you call, these villagers. They've basically never liked you. He's like, and I heard that your father did so many bad things to you. How could you forgive these people for what they've done? Come, Gara, as he extends his hand. Come help me on my new goal of, this new world. Come help me on recreating this new world. We're, we're gonna burn this one and create a new one from the ashes, as he says. Gara says, but how are we gonna do that? Naruto says, simple. I'm gonna gather allies for now, he says. Then we're gonna go find Sasuke. After that, we go after the Leaf Village. Those are the two primary targets. After that, we set the goal into action. I have everything figured out, he says. He says, in the course of me being trapped, you could say, underwater, I have thought about this for many days, and I've come to the conclusion. I already have a big plan set into motion. Gara again thinks about this. Like, yes, I would like a world where everybody would be treated nicely, but what Naruto is saying is crazy. Naruto then reinforces this idea. He's like, have you heard about this organization called the Akatsuki? It's like, basically, they're trying to do basically what we're doing, but in a horrible way. We're gonna take out those people, and we're gonna let the Jinchuriki be free. They won't be ruled by anyone, any village. They can do anything they want. And if really they want, they could release their tailed beasts. They could live a free life, a carefree life, where nobody would judge them, where nobody would use them as weapons, he says. Gara finally makes a decision. He's like, do you promise? He's like, before Naruto sees that he's come to his answer, and Naruto says, before you answer. He's like, you know what? No. I'll let you go ahead and answer, and then I'll ask you. He says. Gara is like, okay, well, that's kind of weird. He's like, fine, I'll come with you. I'll be by your side no matter what. Naruto laughs. He's like, well, that already answers my question then. Gara says, if you don't mind, could I by any chance know what that question was? He's like, question was if you would ever betray me. Gara says, no, never. You're the one who brought me to the light. And I'll see this to the end. Just see this to the end. Through this to the end, he says. No matter what. Even if everybody betrays you, which they probably have, but even if all our teammates did betray you, I'll be by your side. Until death do us apart, he says. As they both shake and hug. This is when they silently disappear. No records, no nothing. Gone into the night. Everybody's searching for what would be Gara, but they never found him. Naruto covered all his tracks. And then, of course, sorry about the little squeaky noises. It's me moving around on my couch and other stuff. And when I move around, it makes my couch makes a little sound because it's made out of leather. And if you guys don't know, leather makes a really loud sound if you move around. So yeah, I'm super super sorry for the inconvenience, but yeah. Gara as Naruto and Gara are heading like literally nowhere to the middle of fucking nowhere. Gara asks, who do you have in mind as our next teammate?" He says. He's like, "Well, I would really like a skilled shinobi in the art of killing. I want him to be silent, kind of like an assassin. I want him to be the person who plans out everything, the person who can infiltrate a base without anyone knowing." Nar, well, Gara then speaks out loud. He's like, "How about one of the seven ninja of the mist?" He says. Naruto says, "Yes, I would. Yes, one of them would do very very well." He says, as he smiles and he's like, "And I know exactly where to find them." And he's like, "Changing course, Gara. We're going to the Mist Village." And of course, they're not jumping on foot. Well, they were jumping on foot, but this is when Gara just, basically just does like a sound cloud, or not a sound cloud, a sand cloud, and they're just flying, kind of like how Goku has his flying cloud. Yeah, kind of like that. Basically, just fucking flying. um, and they finally make it to the Mist Village after about 7 hours of traveling. Now, if Naruto went on foot, he could probably make it in there like 2 hours, but he doesn't want to exhaust himself. Now, when they finally make it, there's a heavy mist that rolls around. Naruto says, "I would recommend you stay close to me." Gaara says, "Understood." And so they make it into the village hidden in the mist. There's no guards, no nothing. See, the mist is kind of like a guard itself. People can get lost in the mist. It's kind of like a labyrinth, a maze of sorts. You don't know where you're going. This place is filled with traps. One wrong step, and you're dead. And so, Naruto knows. You can kind of sense where the traps are, so they make it in safely. They see almost like a ghost town, but they know people are living in there. Naruto states, "Amayuri Ringo." I believe I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, leave that in the comments. I'll go ahead and give you like a. I'll probably heart your comment. Um, Gara says, "Amayuri Ringo." You mean that You mean that maniac who has the twin swords, Kiba? Uh, Naruto says, "First, it's not a he, it's a she. And second, yes, I feel like she's gonna be the best for our team," he says. Now, I know in most of my what ifs I give mostly like the teammate, like the needle user, but I feel like she might be better for this what if. Wink wink, if you know what I mean. Uh most of you guys probably know what I mean by this, but you guys have to see. Uh so as they start tracking the Mist Village, the people and the townsfolk look at the new people because they don't usually get new people. Basically, everybody who tries to get in dies. So it's very rare to see new people, new faces. Naruto starts asking around for one of the seven ninja swordsmen. Comes to a tavern, and one of the tavern's folk lead him to what would be the training ground for this person. Naruto, Azari. Well, Gaara knows that Naruto was literally Naruto, but everybody else knows him by Azari, because he doesn't want everybody to know who he is. So at this point, when they finally make it to what would be one of the seven ninja swordsmen's training ground, Amari would be there. Amari. Shit, I feel like I'm pronouncing her name wrong. Uh, if you guys don't know who she is, as I think I gave her like a pretty good detailed description. She's the one who uses the twin swords, Kiba, the swords uh, that is described that can cut through anything. Naruto, as he starts walking into this big area, feels something coming right towards him. Naruto just phases right through it, like it's nothing. And Gaara actually dodges it, like goes to the side. Gaara is on. Let's doesn't let his guard down. His sand is already unwrapping itself around Gaara. Pretty neat trick, Naruto says. You might as well show yourself. I'm a, I'm gonna go ahead and search this up. How to say it. Amayuri. There we go. Finally, comes out of what would be the shadows. She then says, "Oh, your sensory abilities are pretty sharp for your age, of course." She's like, "But let's see let's see if we can put that to the test." As she goes back into the shadows, and she appears right behind Naruto, and she tries to cut him. Naruto catches the blade. As she starts laughing, she's like, "You made a big mistake." Naruto says, "Or did I?" Amayuri basically starts unwrapping her blades with lightning style, or lightning. And she sees that nothing's happening. What? This can't be possible. These swords are basically meant to be able to cut through anything, and that means flesh as well, she says. Naruto starts laughing. "You can't hurt me." Yeah, he says. She takes her other sword and tries to cut off his head. As soon as the sword reaches his neck, it stops on its track. It's almost like his neck is made out of solid metal. But this isn't right. I should be able to cut through metal, she says. What is this kid made out of? She says. Naruto says, "You know what? I'll go easy on you." It's like, "You know what? If you could make a single scratch on me, I'll surrender. I'll even cut my head," he says, as he smiles. He releases her as she jumps back and does like a barrage of attacks. From close range to long range. Everything in her arsenal, but nothing grazes him. Not even a single cut. This is impossible," she says. "I've never met a man like this before. Is he even human?" She says to herself. Or is he a demon? Maybe he's a demon living inside of a child? Uh, this is when Naruto says, "Well, looks like you lost." He's like, "Well, I'm not here to hurt you anyways." At this very moment in time, Amayuri has this kind of respect for Naruto, for being able to stand his ground, and even giving her every single shot to kill him, but she couldn't. And at this very moment in time, she's kind of kind of feels respect for Naruto. Naruto starts announcing. It says, "Well, um, I've come to recruit you, Amayuri, the wielder of the Kiba blades." He says. She's like, "Oh, what is it that you're recruiting me to?" Says, "To make a better world." Says, "I need somebody like you to help me do the dirty work, like planning out stuff, assassinations, and basically be able to get into a base in and out without being, without being sighted. And I know you're the perfect one for this job. I want to create a world where nobody has to live in fear. Nobody has to be controlled," he says. "Everybody will be equal. I will destroy this world and every single village in it. Now I won't kill the people," he says. "But from the ashes of these villages, I'll create anew. I'll create an empire that can never be beaten. That system will never be beaten. Everybody will abide by these laws. Everybody will be free. They can do anything. They don't have to live in fear, especially the Cherokee," "But I have my own goals, of course, and I need your help." And she responds with, and that's where I'm gonna leave it off. I guess you guys just have to see her response in the next part. Sorry about that little cliffhanger. My bad. If you guys want another part, get to like 30 to 40 likes, and I'll upload another part tomorrow. Um, I hope you guys liked this video. It was very, very fun to make. I really, really enjoyed this video. It's or this series. It's really fun to make. But with all that said,